what does that even mean? How do you make yarn moth proof? As cozy as can be here. Let's see. I feel like I need something for my butt, otherwise it's gonna hurt. Squishing. All right, welcome. This is a little sneak peek into a big part of my stash. This has been a project long time in the making, as I'm sure so many people can relate to. Organizing your stash. 2025 feels like the stash busting year for so many people, and I am fully on board with that. I'm gonna try to be knitting from stash as much as possible this year and have, like, I want to say a low buy year. I don't want to completely restrict myself because you never know. Like, I've also made it one of my sort of resolutions, if you will, to design more and like challenge myself with that. And sometimes you just need yarn you don't have, especially since a lot of my stash yarn is actually for a project. You'll see that many of these things that are next to me here, I have actual ideas or plans for, which is really nice, but that also makes the freedom of my stash not so flexible. All right. Okay, apologies if the camera angle is different. The baby just woke up, now the kids are with their dad, and I am here to show you my stash. So, if you're nosy or just interested, if you love to see what other yarns people get, if you are looking for inspiration for patterns, if you're looking for inspirations for yarn, this is a place to be. So basically what I'm going to do is I have this huge plastic container here. This is a 61-liter container, and I hope that I can put all of my garment quantity stash in here. And when I say garment quantity, I do have, I think, 1 or 2 children's quantity projects. And the reason for why I'm not putting it with my other yarn is because I want to keep that to more like scrappy one-off skeins or like baby quantities at most. And then like accessories, so like socks and smaller knits basically. And that's a little bit more of like a random box. I've just split it up in terms of fibers. This is really like adult garment stuff, and then like 2 children's quantities. So why don't we start with the thing that is like the nearest, which is I've in 2025 now, I have shifted sort of my mindset when it comes to how I want to plan out my quarterly knits, just to keep myself more organized and kind of see how I like it, if it works, if it doesn't, if it makes me knit with more intent, which is always something that I strive for. Of course, if other projects come into the mix and other things don't get prioritized, that's fine. It's more for me to have like a structure and a skeleton behind the 3 months that are in the quarter, rather than it just being like, what do I knit? How many whips do I have? Do I have 50 million on my needles? Like, where am I? And I feel like 2024 was a bit more chaotic than I would have wanted it to be. So 2025 is the year that I try this out. We'll see. But my winter quarter has been planned, and I tried to stick to something that was realistic. I'm still on maternity leave for the majority of the quarter, and then going into spring, I'm gonna have to scale down because I'm going back to my full-time job. So the spring, when it comes to realistic planning and such, it will be a bit more minimal than the winter. So I do have one project in mind for spring, And while I'm going to talk about it first, it's going to be on the top of the box. So I'm going to put it in here last. But that's just because I want to be able to grab it easily without having to take everything out. So the reason for why I want to talk about this also is because I just acquired the yarn. Originally, which you'll see here, I was actually planning to pair this together with this. It's from the Mindful Creator, so Fem, who's in a hand dyer in Holland. Her brand is the Mindful Creators, and she has this beautiful soothing suri, which is 65% baby suri alpaca and 35% silk. It's a lace weight. It's a beautiful color. I have 3 skeins of this. This is 400 meters per skeins. It's a 50 gram, or I guess they're hanks, 50 gram hanks. And it's in the colorway Spring Flame, which I actually ordered back in the summer when she had her birthday sale. So this is what this yarn looks like. And I've been trying to think of like a pairing color for this for a very long time. And I didn't want it to lean too pastel because this is quite light. Of course, when you hold one strand, then it's a bit more, I would say, like true coral. I don't know at all if this will show up, but we can try. I think it, just like when it's hanged up like this and you see all the fluff sort of more compact, then it looks a lot more pastel than it actually will, whereas this will just be like a halo in the final garment. But the original plan that I had was to pair it with this, which is Filcolana Peruvian, in the color 283, which is like a salmon color. I don't know if it has a name, actually. It probably does. I'll put it up on the screen if it does. And one of the Swedish yarn shops, who's not local to my area, they're actually based in northern Sweden, they were having a deal on Filcolana yarns, and this is one of the suggested yarns for the Dagmar series from Petite Knit. And when I got this, I was thinking, wouldn't this be cool to do like a really bright cabling project? So that was my original thought. But upon examining further, the Dagmar series, specifically the zipper, Dagmar zipper sweater, which is what I'll be doing, it doesn't call for anything to be held with this. This is like a 4 to 5 needle size, and I'm always, I always have to size down on my needles for Petite Knit patterns. And I feel like if I were to hold a suri together with this, then I would just be like so off gauge. So I've had to rethink my plans a little bit. And as I hand dye yarn as well, I actually ended up sort of experimenting, and I ended up with a color in this like följetråd lace weight wool to be almost the same, or like a very good match with this suri. I don't know what project I want to knit with it yet. We're getting really off track here, by the way. I was meant to talk about my Filcolana Peruvian, but we had a whole backstory, so I need to just finish. And so these will actually be paired together to do something. The lace weight wool that I'm holding here is 100 grams, and it's 700 meters in these two 100 gram, or 600 meters in these two 100 gram hanks. So this is 1200 meters, and these are 400 meters a hank. So this is 1200 meters, and this is 1200 meters, and now I just need to find a pattern that will work for this. So this is the first thing that's gonna go in here, as I don't have a plan for it. If you have any recommendations, by the way, please let me know. I'm not like a huge, I wouldn't want to just be like, oh, I'm gonna do like a fully fingering weight sweater. That's not really something that I would want on my radar right now. I want like chunky things right now. But I guess these together could probably make like a sport weight. So if you have a sport weight pattern, that I'd be into. With like 3.5 millimeter needles, that would be like probably the smallest I'd want to go at the moment. Okay, let's talk about this. Actually, you know what? Before I do anything, I'm gonna get a glass of water because your girl be dry. Okay? All right. Remember to hydrate. So, this gorgeous yarn is what I will be using to make my Dagmar zip. I have, as it was on sale, it was like 20% off at this yarn store. If they still have a deal when I post this, and you can access it wherever you are, like i.e. Sweden. I don't know if they ship to other places, as it's like a literal yarn store that has an online shop. I will link it below. I believe I have 15 skeins of this because I wanted to secure just like a quantity. It's the dye lot. This is the old label. I feel like they were just getting rid of some old stock. So I was really like, okay, I need to secure the dye lot. I need to secure the fact that this will work. We're just doing it. We're going for 15. Even though that's not what my size calls for, I just want to have extra just in case. So this will go in last, as it's the main, like my garment project for the spring quarter, basically. So let's get on to other things. The thing that I'm going to put in second to last is actually this. This isn't a garment quantity, or I guess it could be, but I have, with my 2025 sort of like knitting resolutions, I have also made a promise to myself that every quarter I'm going to have like a fix it project. So anything that's large that I have put off fixing, whether it be like 2 short sleeves, 2 long sleeves, I ran out of yarn and didn't finish the body, or this button band needs to be fixed, or whatever it may be, that's also going to be part of the quarter. So I'm going to have one sort of major, as in like a garment size project for that too. And this is going to be what I transform my sweater number 14 into a dress. So a little disclaimer. When I chose this yarn, I did not realize that it was superwash merino mixed with cotton. As we all know, superwash grows an awful lot, even if you're really, really careful when you're blocking it. And I started knitting this when I was pregnant back in May. And I quickly realized, well, first of all, it's a very airy yarn, so it's great for the summer, especially here in Sweden. It's perfect. But one of the things that I realized was it like grew in length quite significantly. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy a bunch more balls and make this into a sort of past the knee. I don't know how midi, like where on the midi scale I want to end up. I guess it'll just be like wherever my yarn runs out. But I'm gonna do bracelet length, or maybe even like mid lower arm length sleeves, plus like the ribbing. So bracelet length with the ribbing, with the option of folding up the cuff. And I'm gonna do that with a midi length dress is my plan. This is the Drops Cotton Merino in the color 17, which I'm pretty sure is like, did I say hydrate? Okay. So let's get back to actually like packing up this box. Oh God. Okay. In this lovely Crocs bag, I have a sweater quantity of Isage tweed and Drops Kid Silk in color 17. I will be holding these beautiful yarns together. Oh, the Isage tweed is in the color Wine. It's a 70-30 wool mohair, 200 meters per 50 grams in this. And this is the Drops Kid Silk, 75% mohair, 25% silk. In this 25 gram hank, there is 210 meters. So with this sweater quantity, I will be making the waffle loop sweater by Other Loops. They're nice and neat in my Crocs bag. You'll see that there's a lot of like rando bags. Either that or it's still in like its packaging, polymer, whatever envelope. Now with the Strepsils mint in, mainly because as a mom of 2 young children, my son is almost 3 and my daughter is 7 months old. You just always have like some kind of weird cold. So let's do whatever's up here. All right, this one is like one of these 2 like children projects. Right. What was I thinking with this? Oh yeah. So I have this alpaca. Why do I have this like, this is my husband's, like this is what his nightmares are made of. Random yarn threads that are just hanging out in places. But basically, a couple years ago when I was like not as, I don't want to say serious, but, and I don't want to say avid because I was still avid, but maybe more on a budget. I bought a yarn a lot secondhand from people and it was often like mixed lots of things that people kind of wanted to get rid of. And sometimes you would come across really great fibers like this, which is an alpaca fiber. This is, I would say, probably a sport weight alpaca. Maybe fingering weight alpaca. So I'm gonna hold this together with this. No, wait, this is gonna be the cuff. Hang on. Let me organize myself. So I have a plan to make a mood sweater for the kid size out of this. Imagine if I said for the kid, for my son. It's gonna be these 3 plus a hand-dyed yarn, kind of like scrappy vibes, but like still planned. I have another scheme of this lime somewhere else that's not organized yet, but I basically just put these together so that I would remember what my plan was. So the whole deal behind this Viking Garn Alpaca Storm is, I love this yarn, by the way. It is so soft. I just finished knitting the Sylvie pullover for Gregoria Farbers. That was a test knit that I did starting in the end of 2024, and now she just released the pattern like a week or 2 ago when this is live. Oh my goodness, this together with the Drops Kid Silk, it is so soft. Anyway, love this yarn. Works up really beautifully too. It does grow a little bit when you're blocking though, just keep that in mind. So I was thinking like alpaca's good. He's probably gonna think that's super soft. Smileys are really fun. You know, what's not to love? So this also doesn't really have a timeline. I would probably say that I'd want to make it in the next year or 2, mainly just because of the yarn quantity I have for the age size that they recommend. But for now, it doesn't have a timeline. So that's going in there. Next is this. It looks like mayhem. Okay, this is a 5 or 6 year long whip that I recently frogged and wanted to salvage the yarn. These two are untouched. So this is like, I think I bought this vintage or something at a secondhand store here at Stadsmissionen in Gamla stan. If you're living in Stockholm, Stadsmissionen in Gamla stan is like my best kept secret when it comes to really good yarn. You can buy super nice yarn there. Sometimes they have like multiple skeins or hanks of the same. Otherwise, I just go there if I want to get like really nice one-off skeins of wool that I know is going to be amazing. Then I can choose that for like socks or color work or whatever. It goes in my other box where I just have like 1 or 2 random skeins of things. Amazing. But this is called Harpoon. Garnet som tål det mesta. Love the label. It's a little fisherman. It's kind of graphic though, because he's like about to harpoon this whale. But anyway, it's called Jakob Dahls Kamgarnspinneri i Göteborg. So it's out of Gothenburg. I don't believe that they still exist. And it says moth proof on this label. Amazing. Can anybody explain to me what does that even mean? How do you make yarn moth proof if it's pure new wool? There's 136 meters per 100 grams, which is like, this is like Aran weight, true fisherman's Aran weight right here. A beautiful red color, apple red. I have 2 of these, so 2 times 136 meters. This is something like 55 grams that I salvaged from this sweater that I unraveled. It was a colorwork sweater, an Intarsia colorwork sweater. Hence this bag of cut mess that I need to split slice together before opting to use it again. And then it needs a good steam, and I am not in like the mental state to approach that project because it is so much. So that is getting taped. And then this is gonna go in. I think that this would give me maybe enough to do like a kind of cropped, cute pullover. I want to do something cabled with this. Either that or a children's project. It might just become like a Christmas sweater for my kid. We'll see, but this is beautiful, and I think it's really nice that I finally just picked myself up by my bootstraps and took my anxiety in a chokehold and frogged that project, because it was really like one of those skeletons that I had in my little shame place when it came to knitting. And it gave me such anxiety to think about that project, the fact that it hadn't been touched in so many years, and the fact that I wasn't like honoring this really nice yarn. So that's going in here. I don't have a set project for that. I still need to find something. Might knit something off gauge that just looks interesting to me. We'll see, but it's very exciting. I love the color. Like I said, don't know if it'll be something for me or something for one of my children, but we'll see. All right, next, got this in the mail, like, I want to say at the beginning of this year. It was one of my last sort of purchases for 2024. And I have yet to open it, but basically, Sandnesgarn was doing like this is like Sunny Lime. The colorway in the Double Sunday, and I think in Fritidsgarn, and maybe one other of their bases, like Alpaca or something else. This is essentially becoming discontinued. And this is going to be there. I got 4 skeins of this and it's going to be used to make the Caspian Is it Caspian or Casper? I think it's Caspian. The Caspian slipover or the Caspian vest. I'm not sure how they phrase it, but it's part of their new design collection for kids that just got released like a week ago. And it's a really nice textured vest that's like, it doesn't hang over like the Cleo one. I bought that pattern too. But this one is like the one that sits more like where the shoulder seam on the shoulder sits. And there's a little boy modeling it just for reference. I can try to find a picture of it and put it up. But anyway, I got 4 skeins of this. Like I said, it's the color Sunny Lime 9825 in Double Sunday. And this is currently in their outlet for half price, I believe. And this is for the 4-year-old size, I think. So that's going to become a vest for him. And that is the children's project that I have currently lined up for my spring quarter. So this is going to go together with the Dagmar quantity over here. Then we can talk about this guy. So way back when, again, in my sort of more budget days, although I love this yarn, it's beautifully round. So if you are on a budget and you're looking for something that is beautifully round, but also not super duper expensive, and also gives you like great value for money, this is from Adlibris. It's their Saki Superwash Polyamide wool. Recommended needle size is 4 to 4.5. This color is B013. They have like solids too, or like unicolors as well. But in 100 grams, you get 200 meters. So it's like, I would say like the Superwash equivalent to like a heavier DK. So with this, I was knitting a cabled sweater. I don't know if I'm going to continue that project though, because the sort of variegation in this yarn combined with the texture, it just doesn't work. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but I have quite a lot. And if I unravel and frog the beginning of that cable project, I'm going to have quite a lot. So maybe I'll just end up doing something a bit more basic, like the Hazel sweater by Petite Knit, or something else that is just like a rib. That would be really nice, because this is Superwash and it'll relax. It'll be really, really, really nice when it's blocked. I don't have a project for this though in mind yet, so that's also going to go in here kind of towards the bottom. That's just like my mentality with this. Anything that I don't have a plan for is going in the bottom. All right, next up is something else I bought that is from the Sun That's Gone outlet. And it is also something that I didn't realize was Superwash until it came, and I was just like, oh. But, you know, such is life. I'll figure it out, and maybe I'll just use this for baby knits, because this is quite a neutral color. It's sort of like a greeny, lemony neutral. This could be gender neutral too, so it would work for anybody. Yeah, anyway, I feel like this is their color Yellow Moonstone, or Gul Månsten. I'm thinking it's Yellow Moonstone in English. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a lot more green than I had thought. Like, I thought that it was gonna be like this. Okay, look. A side-by-side comparison, this really looks like a pastel pistachio, and this looks like a butter yellow. And in every photo that I've seen on any website, even like, not on the Sun That's Gone website, but like photographed colors of this yarn in like independent yarn stores, it always looks like it's like a baby yellow. It doesn't look green leaning at all. But then I got it and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is really like a green. So bear that in mind. It's like a pastel pistachio, which again is great for baby knits if you're into gift knitting for people. So I have 7 of these. 6. I have 6 of these. And let's see, how much is in here? 50 grams is 105 meters. So, I mean, this could be like great for baby knit projects, or a garment. I would just have to keep in mind that it is superwash and that's probably gonna grow. Don't have plans for that. Like I said, lots of possibilities though, since I have so much of it, but it's currently just going in there without any kind of plan. Next up, I have, this is very exciting. So, you know my whole rant about this Peruvian Highland, Dagmar quantity, me having some kind of like weird temporary brain lapse where I didn't order, or maybe I didn't even talk about that. I didn't order the right quantity of yarn, so I had to make another order to this beautiful yarn store in Umeå. I think they're in Umeå. But I bought this. It's the color Toxic IE 269. Peruvian Highland wool from Filcolana, 100 meters per 50 grams. And I'm going to make something cable out of this. I don't know if this is going to be something that I'm going to design. So something self-drafted, or if I'm going to find like some kind of miracle cable, something that I'm just like, I need to make this in lime green. But this is so pretty. And I have 8 skeins of this as I bought it, together with the other skeins that I bought for that other color. And it is, or it was, I should say, 20% off. Again, I will link it below if you can access a Swedish yarn store near you, or you just want to look. Try this. Beautiful. Next up, my sweater quantity of Lima. Or this is probably more than a sweater quantity. How much is this? 6. No, 14. Oh yeah, this is a sweater quantity. Okay. Next up, I have Drops Lima. This is in, can I see the color without having to take one out? Oh yeah, here, 206. Color 206. It's like a weedy neutral. I'm not one for neutrals, as you might have could tell. As you might have gathered, I'm the most neutral yarn that I probably showed is this one. But I did like a self-diagnosed color analysis last year because I was really trying to find, again, like my sort of journey to knit with more intent, and I want to have colors that I really feel good in. And I have self-diagnosed myself as a bright or clear spring. The interchangeable bright or clear is depending on what you look at, basically who you're looking at. But in a nutshell, it is like a cooler warm tone spring with lots of really bright colors, and it's very, very nice. I'm super happy with this, and it's a lot of colors that I already liked. So I'm gonna pair this together with this, which is the Drops Kid Silk in 29. I think this is gonna brighten it up a little bit, but it's still gonna have this sort of yellowy undertone, and it's gonna be really nice. My original thought with this was to do the Moby sweater. I'm not sure if that will change. For now, I still want to have that sweater, so we'll see. But it could very easily turn into the Storm sweater. We'll see. It's very nice though. I'm really excited. Again, no clear time plan or anything on that. So that's gonna go in there. What's next here? Oh yeah. Okay. This is number 2 in my waffle loops journey. So Knitting for Olive back in, I want to say October, they were having a deal on maybe 5 colorways, one of which was Dusty Honey. And Dusty Honey is not really a color that I would like think that I would look really good in, but I actually held it up to my face and just sort of like cropped a picture in natural light with my eye showing, my hair showing, and like my skin. So like half my face basically. And it really brought out my eye color. It made my skin looks really like rosy and fresh. And it was like a nice surprise. The only thing I have to do now is try to find a mohair that's like in a very similar color. I might end up going for the Knitting for Olive Dusty Honey mohair just because I want to get as close a color match as possible, which is something that's probably going to be more expensive than, for example, a Drops Kid Silk. But I am willing to do that in order to find a good match. I have a sweater quantity of this. It's just their normal merino, so not the heavy merino. But I don't have a project in mind. I think that I want to do another waffle cardigan, if it's a waffle loop cardigan, or she has one where it's like the waffle is over the sleeves and like the upper chest, and then there's like cables. So we'll see, but that was my original plan for this, and I think that would look really beautiful. It would be more of a lightweight pullover. So that is what I have in there. Let's go into this bag, which is real fun. This is a mix of all sorts of stuff. This is another sweater quantity of Soothing Surrey by the Mindful Creators. Big fan of them. Love her yarn. I'm actually currently knitting something for my mom with her yarn. I've knit something for my daughter with her yarn. Love her yarn. This is the color Let Me Take Care of You from her Bridgerton collection. And this is the same Soothing Surrey base. It's a sweater quantity, and it's this like beautiful sort of like light variegated tonal blue. And my plan is to pair this with Rauma Vivel in the color Blå Pudel or Blue Poodle, which is kind of like this lighter streak in this yarn. And I'm gonna be making the Gujo sweater by Eggyo Knit. So that's my plan for that. Then this bag is a whole lot of mix of something. Here's more Knitting for Olive. Oh, that was not illegal. Okay, here's more Knitting for Olive. This is in the color Blue Tit. I feel like I shouldn't say that on camera. Anyway, other way to be really funny because anyway. It's the merino, like regular merino. This I will definitely pair with this Filcolana or this will be paired together. I have this one too, but I think this is a little bit too like navy leaning. So these two are going to be paired together, and I'm going to do something from the Esther series by Petite Knit with that. Also sweater quantity. And then in here I have, FYI, this is color 270 in Tilia by Filcolana. And then here I have the Isager Silk Mohair. Does it have a color here? 54. Like I said, it's the best way to describe this is like a warm navy. It's a color that I've recently discovered since self-diagnosing myself as a bright or clear spring. Warm navy. It's just like the navy for me. It's beautiful. I don't have anything else to say about it. It's wonderful. So yeah, that's that. And this This is more of a petroleum if you look at these two together, but this is also gorgeous. Anyway, this is sometime in the future going to be an Esther something. Maybe an Esther jacket. I feel like that would look really nice. Very lightweight. Let's see what's in this guy. Is this for my emotional support chicken? Yeah. Okay, that's not even gonna go in here. This is my emotional support chicken. I'm gonna make an emotional support chicken for my son's preschool class because they're learning about farm animals this year. And this is just yarn that I've gathered, mostly cotton for that project. Last thing I have to talk about is this bag of deliciousness. This is, again, a long time coming project that I have planned for. I have to say, it's been a bit of a ride because I made this plan when I had one of the 3 yarns that I'm going to hold to make it. It's the Beatrix cardigan by Gregoria Fibers, and it's going to be made in this beautiful trio of yarn. So, let me introduce you to what this is going to be made from. We have these 3 beautiful things right here. Okay. So with the Dusty Honey purchase, I finally took the plunge. Even though Dusty Banana was not on the deal, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to order from Knitting for Olive. I might as well just buy something that I needed for this cardigan that I have literally, like, this is the perfect color for me. It's like a dirty, creamy banana. It's Dusty Banana. It's literally that. I find this name to be so accurate. It's like a banana that you found under your sofa. This is it. It's perfect. Anyway, this is going to be paired with this mohair. The same one that I showed with my Drops Lima combination. Let's see. For a refresh, it's color 29. I think it's called Vanilla. They are slightly different, but I do feel like when this strand is held, it's going to tie this together really nicely. This is what it's going to be held with. This is the flowy fingering weight, again, from the Mindful Creators in the color Wildflower. She had this in her spring collection. And when I say to you that this is such beautiful yarn, I can't emphasize that enough. Look at these speckles. Look at this yarn. It is gorgeous. So I am going to hold these 3 together to make the Beatrix cardigan, and I'm so excited. I got this idea originally from a creator here on YouTube who I don't remember the name of right now, but she was making the old-fashioned cardigan, which was what I was originally going to knit. But then I saw the Beatrix cardigan and I was like, wait, I need that in my life instead. This is a superwash, but as it's going to be held with these 2, I don't think it's going to grow very much, but I will keep that in mind. And this combination is just going to be so scrumptious. I love this. I think that I'm going to cast this on probably in August when it's like getting colder and it's still kind of like summer vibes, but I want to have something like a cardigan on. And I think that this is just going to be one of my favorite projects, and I'm going to really savor making this. I'm so excited to make this. It's beautiful, and I'm so happy that I finally have what I feel like is a really good yarn combination. This Wildflower colorway has all sorts of colors in it. Some of the yarn goes more like salmon, and then some of the yarn goes more white. But I figured that Dusty Banana would be like a great in-between to hold. At first I tried it with a white alpaca and I was really not having it. And then I found this and I was just like, it's perfect. It's perfect. And then this, just like a creamy vanilla on top. Ugh. Yeah, it's going to be magical. I'm really excited for that. Also, now when I've tested for Anna from Gregoria Fibers, I feel like I really like her writing style, and She's very prompt when responding to questions and stuff like that. So it's going to be really, really, really enjoyable to knit the Beatrix sweater. Who knows? Maybe she will do, she has hinted at the fact that she's going to do the Beatrix pullover or Beatrix sweater. And maybe I will test that using this yarn. I don't know what the future will hold, but I'm excited. This is beautiful. So that's going to go right in there. We're going to smoosh it all down. The last things I have to put in are the things that I showed you before in the beginning of the video that are up next for my spring plans. So that's what I've got in my sweater quantity category of my stash. I think that next week I'm going to film a what I knit in January, talk through all my projects, all my whips, and check off another one of my resolutions, which is to finally start a YouTube channel and carve out my little corner of our beautiful knitting community and sit and have a chat with myself, essentially, and all of you. See you next time. Okay, this will fit. I will. Yes. All right, and then lastly, it's gonna be this. Excellent. Oh, okay. We're gonna get it in here. Good thing I'm gonna use this soon.